Romans 12:1 and 2 says, in view of God's mercy, to present your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. Do not conform any longer to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. And so in these two verses, we see some powerful truths that because God is merciful, he doesn't give to us as we deserve. He's actually gracious to us. He gives us and promises us abundantly more than we could ever deserve. And because he's merciful, we live as a sacrifice to him. I've heard it said that the challenge with living sacrifices is they crawl off the altar. And so we can offer ourselves to sacrifice as a sacrifice to God today, but then tomorrow comes and we just do what we want to do. This is the tension that is happening between our flesh and the spirit, that we have these desires and these preferences that want to feed our comforts, that we want to live this life without persecution, without enemies, in a comfortable bed, in a comfortable house, in a comfortable neighborhood with good kids, and all of these things, when God is really calling us to a life of mission, a life of sacrifice, a life of doing hard things in his name, knowing that we have the promise of glorious riches and inheritance forevermore with the King. And so we live with that promise and we experience God's blessings here. Jesus tells us this in Luke 18. Anyone who fails to, anyone who will leave his father and mother and brother and family and give up, make sacrifices for me will fail to receive 100 times as much in this age and in the age to come. And so there's a real beauty to living as a sacrifice to God, not conforming to the patterns of our town, not needing the latest things and filling our lives with trinkets and treasures that we can't take with us and just pursuing stuff and status at every turn, but really living against the current, talking about another kingdom. There's another kingdom that I belong to that we're so clear about. And when we do this, we understand the will of the creator of the heavens and the earth. And we know that his will is good and that his will is perfect. And when we present ourselves as a living sacrifice and we're different than what the world calls us to, and we walk with God, then we understand and know God's desires for us. And I think that's a beautiful truth, that we live as a sacrifice to God, and in turn, we understand what God desires for us.